Hello. I return. It is Mythos Monday. However, some of you may know. That's right, we're just diving right in. Some of you may know that this past weekend was in Japan. They had Type Moon. I think it's just called Type Moon Festival. And they announced a whole bunch of stuff under the Type Moon brand, as it were. There's a whole bunch of stuff relating to Fate Grand Order, Fate Stay Night, that whole thing. And as some of you may also know, because I've talked about it on the channel before, Fate Stay Night was revealed to be receiving an official English translation sometime this year. Unfortunately, it's coming out a lot sooner than I expected. I think literally a week ago on Mythos Monday, I was saying I was kind of hoping for like an October release date because we should be caught up with Tsukihime by then. Then that I was expecting October just because that feels like a don't get ahead of me now. That feels like an appropriate release date. Instead, this was uploaded like a day or two ago. Hold on. You can't hear it, it's muted. Hold on. There you go. Fucking brace yourselves. There you go, I have artificially adjusted the volume. Yeah, and Hollow Knight actually is coming out sometime next year. Saw that too. Very, very excited for that. Yeah, they haven't done any Hollow Knight in the anime at all. We had the Studio Dean adaptation way back when, in like 2006 or something. We had the Unlimited Blade Works adaptation, which was phenomenal. And then they had the Heaven's Feel adaptations in the films, which were also phenomenal. Studio Ufotable really is just very good at this. Gives me chills. And there's the rub, you see, because that's like 3 fucking days from now. What am I gonna do about that? What am I actually gonna do about that? And that's why we have gathered here today. So this is purely safe for work. I wish there was an 18+ patch because there's some good memes from the lewd, but there are some good memes from the lewd parts, true. But yeah, it's coming out on Switch and Steam, so it's only... Stop, don't say that word. Stop it. Yeah, so that means it's probably only the safe for work version. I don't know... I mean, there will probably be, like, a mod, I guess, that will add that stuff back in. But then again, that mod will needs to be fan translated, presumably. And hopefully they would, like, adhere to the localization that's the official localization, but hopefully they won't. What I'm hoping for is a day one patch that replaces all instances of Altria with Artoria. Actually, I don't know if they said her name in the trailer at all. Probably not, because that's technically spoilers, even though everybody knows. It's no use. What do you mean? Silver the Hedgehog, is that you? Yeah, because the localization teams don't actually understand anything, so the official English localization of Artoria's name is Altria, because apparently nobody got the memo that it's King fucking Arthur! Artorius. Artoria. It's not that hard. I should call her that to piss off any Fate fans. You will piss me off, yes. Everybody just calls her Saba anyway. But the reason I have brought this to your attention is because the official game releases on August 8th. And I think technically in my time zone it comes out on like Wednesday. So and we are like not even halfway through Tsukihime yet. Gotta love King Arthur, as it says on my tiny little bug hand. My beady little beady is for eyes. What nubby, my nubby little hands here. Read faster. Well, I'd like to. I'd like to read faster. That would be great. Yeah, 1 day and 16 hours. So that's, yeah. Well, 1 day and 16 hours puts us on Wednesday, I think. Yeah. Something like that. Kick yourself into 1.3 times speed. I am not an audiobook for you to adjust. I don't have knobs and well, I guess these might count as knobs. I don't know. Anyway, my point is, for us to read through Fate's Stay Night, which I'm very excited about, reading through Fate's Stay Night and then reading through Hollow Ataraxia whenever it releases next year, I think we should start doing more reading streams. I think we should start doing more visual novels. Not just regulating it to Mondays. I want to shoot for 2 to 3 days a week. Oh yeah, you are, you fucking book. Well, why did I read that in Gabriel's voice? Ultra kill on Wednesday. So yeah, Mythos Wednesdays. Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to like pitch that to you guys. Basically, is kind of retiring Mythos Mondays as it is now, being kind of a dedicated VN streaming day, and just doing VNs as if they were normal games on the channel, and then we would have Mythos Mondays be like a less frequent thing, but also be more kind of about storytelling, more about actual mythology and stuff. I haven't solidified that idea, but I kind of wanted to run it past you guys, see what we think. Because I do want to get through these stories. I realize that they take a long time to get through. But I also realized that waiting a full week in between episodes kinda is a lot. Maybe not to some of us old heads who used to watch anime on a weekly basis, or cartoons on a weekly basis. But, I don't know. I want to try and do more VN stuff so that we can get through more VNs, because there are a lot of quality ones out there. There are a lot of specifically Type Moon ones that I want to get to, that I want to get through, to experience that story in its original form. Well, I mean, that's not its original format, but it's like originally intended format back before the anime came out. And I guess I'm kind of torn, because I like the Mythos Monday thing as like a branding deal, as it were. But I also feel like it's a bit of a misnomer, because we do visual novels. Now, the visual novels that we've done have been Type Moon stuff, which does have its own mythology and its own lore, and specifically Fate Stay Night is tied to a lot of other real-world mythology in the Servants. But I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking about, specifically because they announced that Fate Stay Night is dropping this week, I've been thinking about changing up what Mythos Mondays is to make it more what Mythos Mondays maybe should have always been. I'm not entirely sure what that looks like yet. But again, like I said, I want to try and have 2 dedicated days a week, maybe 3, where we can just sit, relax, and do a reading stream, whether it's visual novels, whether it's novels that I can have the licensing to read on stream, because that's essentially an audiobook. I did look into this one time, that I could read it. Basically, if it's in the public domain, I could read it, which does open up the floor to a lot of classics. The problem with that is that classics are also really ridiculously long. So, but yeah, I do want to do more reading on stream, I think. H.P. Lovecraft is one of them. The Count of Monte Cristo is old enough, so I could read you the entirety of my favorite novel of all time. I think Dracula's old enough. I think The Great Gatsby is gonna be old enough soon. I don't remember exactly, because it came out, when did The Great Gatsby come out? The novel, not the movie. 1925. Yeah, so next year that would be the centennial anniversary of The Great Gatsby, which would be that would then it would be in public domain, because it's been 100 years. That's crazy to think about. The Great Gatsby, with all the flappers in the 1920s and shit, and it's going to be 100 years old. 100. The centennial anniversary of The Great Gatsby. Yeah, right? Crazy. Count of Monte Cristo is about a man who eats so many Monte Cristos he loses count. Yep, that's what it's about. Yeah, I made homemade Monte Cristo sandwiches one time, and they kind of fucking slap. It's like if you took a grilled cheese, but then you battered it and fried it. It's kind of nutty. They're kind of fucking delicious. The Count of Monte Cristo has nothing to do with Monte Cristo sandwiches, but Monte Cristo sandwiches slap, and also the Count of Monte Cristo slaps. We're drifting way off topic here. It's a good thing that the Count of Monte Cristo is a servant in the Fate verse, because now I can bring it back around. So yeah, we might... I might kind of readjust how we do stuff on the channel. Try and make it a little more solidified. Make it like a feature type deal. I like Mythos Mondays being a thing. I like the alliteration. I like keeping myself grounded because mythology is what I'm passionate about. And I like sharing that and making connections. So once I kind of figure out what I want to do with that on a slightly less regular basis. The original idea for Mythos Mondays was we're going to take time to like read through stories and discuss them on stream, and then it kind of just immediately devolved into just let me read this visual novel and we'll kind of talk about it, because visual novels are really long and have a lot of stuff going on. And it kind of fell away from the analytical spot and more into the just presentation spot. But then on the other hand, because of the website, I feel like that's a better format for discussing the kinds of connections that we would make. Maybe Mythos Mondays is going to be more of like a Socratic seminar, where everybody can kind of bring a little something to the table. Or I can come up with a topic or a culture that we can just kind of read through like the Wikipedia page of or something. Walk you guys through my process on how I make these crazy schizo connections. I don't know. It's going to take a little workshopping. But I've also been thinking about making the content on the channel more consistent, in that I want to have like maybe one long play that we do over the course of a month or so, depending on how long the game it is. Something like an RPG or something big and long. And then have other shorter games interspersed among those. Suggested for the blog, the Theft of Fire, right? Because that exists in a whole lot of different cultures. Yeah. Theft of Fire, the Flood. Those are myths that exist in lots of different cultures. I should maybe, yeah, because a lot of the ideas that I've had so far for the site have been me connecting real world myths to fictional world stuff and just kind of explaining the reference or making a connection that may not actually have been intended, which I always think is neat. But I think Tobias, you make a good point. I should maybe like kind of lay down some groundwork for general myths that exist across cultures. Do a little what do you call that? Kind of just professorial research and stuff. What if Dragon Quest? I could play Dragon Quest. I don't know what we would do first if I want to do like a long running thing. I was thinking maybe Devil May Cry or something, the DMC 4 or 5. Those wouldn't necessarily be super like I don't think it would take me a month to play through DMC 4 or 5. Maybe a couple of weeks, depending on the length of the stream. But yeah, other like Final Fantasy VII as like the whole Final Fantasy VII thing. That would be something. I did a while back want to work my way through the Final Fantasy games kind of in reverse order, because Final Fantasy 15 had just come out and I'd started playing that and I'd kind of got most of the way through it, and I was like, what if I went back and played like 13 and 12 and 10, just worked my way backwards, and then I never did. But yeah, at some point I'd like to play a lot of the Final Fantasy games, because I have not played most of them. I played 15, I played 16, I played some of 14. Have I tried playing 1 way back. I tried playing 7 way back too, but then I don't remember what happened actually. Final Fantasy X, yeah. Of the Final Fantasy games specifically that I want to play, 7, 8, 10, 12. I think 4 and 6 I hear a lot about. Yeah. And I do want to get back into 14 too, but I talked about that whole situation. I could either pay a monthly subscription to keep the account that I have, or start all over and actually like keep the free trial until I reach the end of the content that I haven't seen yet. What is it? Stormblood? Heavensward and then Stormblood comes after. I think that's right. And all the way from A Realm Reborn all the way to the end of Stormblood is free up to level 80, no restrictions on playtime. And because I got my first account through Steam, I miss out on that. I don't know. And I feel like if I wanted to play 14, I would definitely stream it. And I don't know. I don't know. MMOs, I love MMOs in concept, but God, you really gotta put a lot of time in those things. It's fucking crazy. And most of it feels kind of boring, not gonna lie. Some of it's like really fucking fun, but most of it is kind of boring. Anyway, I'm kind of going off on another tangent. So, give me some feedback. What do we think here? Because I'm on the fence about it, honestly. Because I want to tackle Fate Stay Night in a reasonable amount of time, because a lot of people are probably going to be jumping on that and interested in it. But I don't know about abandoning the whole formula that I've had going on here. I'm at a loss, really. I feel like doing more reading streams throughout the week instead of just dedicating a single weekday to it is better for like getting through a visual novel. Doing it more than one time a week, it'll move up the time frame, and I feel like it's just kind of to treat it more like a game that we play for a couple weeks rather than like one weekly installment of a show. I think is I think that would do better, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. I don't know that it would. Visual novels are kind of a big niche as it is, but I just like, I'm really kind of attached to, oh my god. Y'all heard of the concept of like, what is it called? It's not, I don't want to say kill your babies, but like, like an artist is really attached to this one thing, but it's just kind of not working, and you have to just let it go. Kill your darlings, that's what it is. It's kill your darlings. I've reverse engineered kill your darlings. All right, fuck everything I just said. We're doing it. We're Mythos Mondays is no longer going to be Mythos Mondays. It's going to be Mythos Mondays instead. Thank you, narrative tropes. You save my life all the time. So yeah, so the plan going forward is gonna be, we're gonna be doing visual novels more like regular content instead of installations every week. And Mythos Mondays is going to kind of fade into the background until I can workshop what exactly I want it to look like. It's definitely going to be less frequent. It's not going to be every week. So we do macaroni Mondays where Colin buys the chat mac and cheese. How am I going to get mac and cheese for you if I don't know where you live? Don't dox yourselves. This is a bit. No doxing yourself or anybody else in Twitch chat. I should make that a rule. Is that a rule? True, I do know where you live. But I feel like this is a ploy for you to get free mac and cheese out of me. I feel like I'm being tricked here. Now wait a minute, hold on. Wait a minute. I haven't eaten, neither have I. I had a single, I went for a walk today in the, like, almost 90-degree weather, because it's been 90 degrees. It's been almost 90 degrees for, like, 3 fucking weeks. And when it wasn't 90 degrees, it was raining like hell. But yeah, I went for a walk today in the almost 90-degree heat, and then I ate 1 chicken cutlet, because that's what we had left over from the last time we got Italian food. And I'm hungry, basically, was the point of that sentence. What about Maraca Mondays, where maracas are played, overshadowing any other noise is funny as fuck. It's just too loud. You can't fucking hear anything else that's going on.
Hi.
Hi. Had like 8 Cheddar Bay biscuits. I don't... That's a lot of biscuits. I don't know if I could do that many biscuits. I could do that many, like, brownies and then absolutely fucking regret it for the next 48 hours. But I can do that many brownies. Had to get that out before the sound alerts were muted. Oh yeah, I forgot. You know what? Alright. I would have totally forgotten. Yeah, alright, I've been yapping for 30 minutes, and the stream today is only going to consist of some more yapping, so maybe I should get on that. Alright, muting now. Yeah, there you go. And away we go. I haven't booted up the game yet. Hold on. There we go. And now I gotta turn on this one. Flashbang! Thank you for the pin, Tobias. Moon Princess. Actually, it's only a piece of the moon, and it's made of blue glass for some reason. I don't really get the subtitle. I'm sure it will be explained to us eventually. Away we go. Oh, let me hold on. I gotta change the category. There we go. Should be updated now. I said thank you for the pin. I got a little, like, nasally thing going on right now. So I apologize for that. But Get comfy, get cozy. It's another Mythos Monday reading stream. Arcwade's room doesn't exactly scream vampire. I wasn't in a right state of mind last time, so I didn't get a good look, but it's just a normal apartment. There isn't a bottle of blood in sight. No mysterious sculptures or antiques either. She's even got a fridge and tableware. What does she need those for? I muttered to myself as I lay her down on the bedsheets. Arcwade may be light, but that doesn't make it any less exhausting to have carried her all the way here. I plant myself right there on the floor and catch my breath. It's just about 7 o'clock. Right. I better close the curtains. I force one last ounce of strength into my tired bones and shut the curtains. And with that, my body finally releases the tension it had been holding on to all this time. As I try to sit back down, my knees give out and send me crashing down onto the floor. How pathetic am I, getting this tired from lugging a girl around. Ever since my accident, my body's been slow to heal from injuries. Though that was never the cause for me to shy away from working out. The Animas had a dojo, so I always made sure to exercise as much as I could. Even a common cold can be dangerous if you don't take care of yourself. But since I've kept active, I'd say I'm about as fit as anyone. It's just my stamina that's awful. Like an athlete geared for a single sport, I'm a sprinter that isn't going to be winning any marathons. Now that I'm lying on the ground, there's no way I'm getting up again. I spent the entire night talking to Arcwade, and it's been a full day since I had anything decent to eat. It's kind of amazing that I've managed to hold out this long, frankly. Arcwade. I wonder if she's going to be okay. I steal a glance at the girl on the bed. Her abdomen seems to have stopped bleeding, and if she can come back to life after being dismembered, I'm not really sure I need to be worried in the first place. What's wrong with me? My head throbs like I have a fever. I'm so tired I can barely breathe, yet here I am, more worried about her than about myself. Maybe I really am coming down with something. The collision is believed to have been caused by a malfunction. It's suspected that the motorcycle's brake pedal stopped working just as the rider was coursing down a steep hill. 2 people have been reported injured, though fortunately there were no fatalities. I must have fallen asleep. Guess I was tired enough to pass out right there on the floor. It looks like someone opened the curtains and covered me with a blanket while I was still snoozing. I'd wager it's past noon by now. TV is switched on and playing the same old news in the background. I look to the bed, but I don't see Arcwade. Where did she go? I prop myself up to get a better look around. There's a hint of movement coming from the kitchen in the next room. What does she think she's doing, moving around after sustaining an injury like that? I shrug off the blanket as I lurch to my feet. I better head to the kitchen and check on her wounds. For our next story, a fire broke out at the Kuramibashi Domu Hotel In the early hours of the morning, as no alarms were set off, the blaze remained unnoticed until approximately 6 a.m., when returning hotel staff learned of the situation and alerted the police. The police are currently working in tandem with the fire department to extinguish the remaining fires. The building was still on fire? I freeze in place. My gaze is drawn back to the newscast. 200 guests staying at the hotel remain unaccounted for. Authorities are working to put out the flames as soon as possible, but they have yet to find any survivors. The news anchor continues droning on about the details in a detached voice. A list of 200 names scrolls across a photo of the hotel we stayed at last night. Neither Arquade's nor my name is listed. Police indicate this might not have been an ordinary fire. Damage to some of the interior walls of the hotel suggests a structural fault may have caused an explosion that... I turn off the TV. 200 guests remain unaccounted for. They have yet to find any survivors? They already know what they know. Why hold out on telling everyone the truth? That every last person in the hotel was engulfed by those insane flames and burned to a crisp, leaving nothing behind. I resist the urge to hurl. I can't. Not here. Not now. Simply feeling sick would make me no better than swine. After coming out of that alive, the only thing I should let myself feel is hatred. 200 people. 200 people of whom not a trace remains, who were massacred without a shred of sympathy or mercy. His face flares vividly in my mind. I don't know who he is. All I know is that he's the monster behind the carnage. Is my heart numb from all the things I saw? Fear still courses through my veins. Anger, too, coiling around like a snake. Yet my thoughts remain cool and collected. It's like my brain and heart are working on two different frequencies. Just thinking about that fur-clad man makes me want to rage. Yet my fingertips tingle with alertness, primed for action. I don't need emotions to know what to do. I don't need fire or heat or passion. All I need to do is cleanly cut through his lines. Oh, you're awake. Arquade pokes her head out from the kitchen. You're making one hell of a face. What's up? Arquade talks to me casually, like nothing happened. Oh, nothing really. Good morning. FNAF's having a collab with Dead by Daylight. You love to see it. Maybe I'll start playing. I probably won't, though. I think Kage used to play. Maybe I could talk to her. Good morning. I don't know if I get the chance to wish someone a good morning. That's cute. Her sweet smile takes me by surprise, and I need to swallow hard to even out my breathing. The cold thoughts of vengeance that clogged my mind melt like snow before the sun. I feel like all of this could have been avoided if Arquade just robbed a blood bank and dried some blood. It's an ethical decision. It's an ethical decision. She can't. I don't know. I don't know if it's an ethical decision or if she's just scared. She said she was afraid to try it, which, like, yeah, understandable. It is the plight of all fledgling vampires in most media. But yeah, I don't know. She's very old, from what I gather. Or maybe she's not, I don't know. Clearly she has hemophobia. Just a vampire who's afraid of blood. That would only make her more cute. Oh no. What am I even thinking about? Get it together, Shiki. The whole reason you got up in the first place was to check on Arcade. Arcade, how's your wound? My wound? Yeah, all good, I think. Arcade seems to be just fine. It looks like she's back to the way she was before. If anything, she's definitely looking better than I'm feeling right about now. Tobias, that's a stupid joke. Hemophobia, not homophobia. Excuse me. I see. I'm glad to hear that. At least the person in my immediate vicinity is safe. What the hell am I talking about? Arcade isn't even a person. At least, not in the usual sense. How did I forget that? I must still be half asleep. Well, either way, that's great news. I guess that wound of yours wasn't all that bad. Oh. Why all of a sudden care and concern? You were calling me a monster just a few hours ago. And I still think that way. But that won't stop me from being grateful anyway. You did more or less save my life out there. Huh? Did I? Arque's eyes are wide with surprise. Did she not even realize she rescued me? Yeah, you sure did. So, I guess I'm trying to say thanks for protecting me. If you hadn't pulled me aside, I would have been burned to a crisp. It's really fine, though. I'm kind of the reason you came face to face with love in the first place. I don't deserve your thanks. That doesn't change what happened. You protected me with your life. I'm grateful for that. Oh, excuse me. Big yawn. I guess I did do that, but it still feels off somehow. You wouldn't have had to go through all that if you hadn't agreed to be my lookout. I'm the one that brought this danger into your life. I'd understand if you were angry, but instead you're grateful? How does that work? Arcade has gotten weirdly caught up on this. Should I be blaming you instead? Forget that. I need to take responsibility for choosing to stick around. Somebody once taught me that our actions are our own. No matter what others think, we have to decide for ourselves what we want to do, and follow through. Which is why I don't hold the slightest grudge against her over the whole guard thing either. If there's anyone to blame for getting me into this mess, it's myself. Now that you mention it, the only reason I needed you as my shield was because you killed me in the first place. Which means that I don't have to apologize for getting you involved. You got it. I brought this on myself. Well, when you put it like that... Your luck is pretty terrible, isn't it? If you'd gone and killed any other girl, none of this would have happened. Bro, I hate... Something about these reading streams just makes me yawn. I hate it. Hey now. That's assuming I would have killed someone else at all. It's not like I make a habit out of stalking people down the street and murdering them. As far as we know. Arcoid was the first and only person for whom I ever felt that uncontrollable urge to kill. And I have a feeling I wouldn't just feel that for anyone else. You can start a new hobby anytime. Wait a minute.
Oh.
What is it? Did you just remember something?
Yeah.
Not really, it's just... Now that I think of it... Now that I think of it, why did I want to kill you? Arcoid knits her brows in disapproval. I yawn a lot when I read out loud or sing a lot. There's a theory that yawning is your brain's way of telling you that it needs more oxygen. So I need to focus more on my breathing. Hamon! Arcoid knits her brows in disapproval. A fair reaction. You wouldn't want to hear that your murderer doesn't even know why they killed you. Do you need a reason? I figured it just came naturally, that you were some serial killer. Come again? You were so skilled and practiced when you attacked me. Ringing the doorbell, thrusting your hand behind the door the second I opened it, forcing your way in. You took advantage of my surprise to deliver the first blow, ceasing my vital functions. Then you sliced me up into more than a dozen pieces. Honestly speaking, your surprise attack was perfect. So perfect, if you could have captured that scene on canvas, it'd undoubtedly be a masterpiece. The kind I'd want to bring back with me and hang up around the castle. It was that magnificent. Arcoid excitedly rattles off a litany of bizarre praise. But there's just one issue. But you picked the wrong gal to kill this time around. I don't know how many people you killed so far, but karma finally came back to bite you when you picked me as your prey. Congratulations on the tire. You're being so weird this morning. If you got something to say, then out with it. It's not like there's any reason for us to be coy around each other, right? Alright, she is. I nod and beckon her to come closer. I'm taking deep breaths and it's not stopping the yawn. What is it? Are we sharing secrets? Arcoid closes the gap between us quickly, eyes sparkling with anticipation. I bring my lips to her ear and decide to say my piece. You see, Arcoid. Yeah, go on. 1, 2... You're way off base, you idiot! Got her. My voice echoes throughout the apartment. I blasted Arcoid's eardrums with all the volume I could muster. Not the fucking flashbang tinnitus ringing, bro. Arcoid groans as she makes a big show of clutching her ear. Oh, you jerk. What the hell, Shiki? I'm the one who should be pissed off here. I thought you were out of your mind when you started ordering me to do all this insane stuff, but you know what? Now it all makes sense. Huh? What does? This entire time you thought I was some kind of mass murderer. That's why you had no problem asking me to be your shield or guard or whatever against those monsters.
とんでもない勘違いを
Damn it, do
し
you
やが
even
って
realize how badly you misjudged me?
いいかこの
I'll
際
let you
言っ
in
て
on a
おくけど
secret, alright?
俺は
I'm not
殺人鬼で
some
も殺
serial
人狂で
killer
も
or
ない
homicidal maniac.
人を
You're the
人を
first
殺
person
す
I've
なん
ever
て
killed.
お前が初めてだったんだから
Don't bring up he's suppressing, he's repressing, he's got trauma, okay? Give him a ray. Alright, you sip. Excuse me. My confession must have come as quite the surprise. Her sheer shock makes me finally realize how extraordinary it was that I murdered her.
嘘
No way.
あんなに手
That
慣
was
れ
your
てて
first?
あれが初めて
But
だ
you
ったっ
seem
て
so
いうの
used to
四
it.
季
All of a sudden, this feels like an innuendo. We're talking about murder here. Remember, we're talking about killing people.
そうだよ
That's right.
こんなおかしな
I
目を
might
持っ
have
て
these
るけど
weird eyes, but I've done my best to live a decent life.
できるだけ真面目に生きてきたんだこの線を使って
Which is to
人を
say, I've
殺したい
never
なんて思
ever
ったこ
had
と
the
は
urge to kill someone by
一度もない
cutting through their lines before.
それじゃあどうし
Then
て
why did you kill
見
me?
ず知らずの私
We'd
を
never
殺した
even
りし
met
たの
before.
よ
だからそれが
That's exactly the thing. I'm about to tell her I don't know, but pause as I realize just what a coward I am.
あの時
Back then,
俺は
Get me beep. Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome on in, raiders. My name is Conla Redleaf. I used to be a wolf boy warrior before I was defeated and captured and transformed into the orbacular being you see before you. Today is Mythos Mondays. We are reading through Tsukihime. We're on chapter 5, so if you don't want any spoilers or if you don't mind starting a story in the middle, feel free to stick around. I spot a funny oh, okay, so you're already... I see some of you are already aware of what's happening. Good. This is my first playthrough of the story. I know vague things about certain characters, but not a whole lot, so please, no spoilers. Gamey, I hope you had a great stream. Thank you so much for the raid. If you need to run and take care of yourself, to get some food, take a shower, do whatever, don't let me hold you up. And raiders, if you're sticking around, I hope you enjoy the show. It's going to be pretty much just me narrating. So, strap in. Hope you're enjoying the game. I love it so far. We did Witch on the Holy Night earlier in the year, and I was very excited when this came out, and I'm very excited for Fate Stay Night dropping this week. So, yeah, we've got a lot of Type Moon stuff coming down the pipes. Yeah, we love Nasu Works. Yeah. Hell yeah. I'm also very excited for Fate Extra Record coming out next year. I hope it's early next year, because I played some of the original on the PSP, and it, man, that rock, paper, scissors gets really old really fast, so... Anyway, let us continue. Back then, when I passed you on the street, I was overcome by a desire so strong I felt like throwing up. From the second I saw her, I could only think of her snow-white form. I couldn't stop the lust welling up beneath my skin, nor the vulgar grin that crept across my face as I chased her down. So I came here. And before I even realized it, I'd already... Oh, actually, really quick before I move on, let me get you a shout out here. I'm usually kind of bad at that. There you go. Anyway. Oh, my controller disconnected. Hold up. There we go. Right here in this room. Without any rhyme or reason. I chopped up that beautiful figure and stood in the puddle of her bloody remains.
そうか。
Oh. Strength evaporates from my body. No longer able to stand, I drop to my knees. Of course, I don't have any right to be angry with Arquaid. Even if she's alive now, even if she was never human to begin with, the fact remains that I killed her with my own 2 hands.
何よ、またいきなり黙っ
What's
ちゃっ
with
て。
you going all silent on me again?
そうかって。
What did you
何
realize?
がそうなの、シキ。
だから、
I
ごめん
really
って
should be apologizing to you.
言わなくっちゃいけない。
I've been using how weird this all is to avoid doing something incredibly important.
ごめん、
I'm sorry.
ごめんな。
I'm really sorry,
Arquaid.
Arquaid.
俺は
I killed you
君を
right here in
ここで
this
殺
apartment.
した。
I should have
俺は何より
apologized to you for
その
that
こと
the moment we first met.
一番最初に謝らないといけなかったのに。
She would give a really good haircut. See, he would. I don't know about that. I feel like he cut more than just your hair. No wonder Arquaid thought I was just some cold-blooded killer. Without showing any guilt or remorse, I've been acting like I was the victim. Not just that. Even now, I still don't know why.
殺したのは
I
事
killed you.
実なんだ。
There's no changing that.
だから、
For my actions,
俺は
I need to be
罰を受
punished.
けないといけない。
A killer like me shouldn't be allowed to roam the streets with the rest of society.
みんなの社会に混ぜるわけにはいかないだろう。
What I did was beyond evil. A person who decides to take a life without reason doesn't deserve to walk free.
そう。
I see.
シキは本当
So you
に
really don't know why you
自
did
分
it.
でも理由がわからないのね。
I nod, still hanging my head.
つまり楽し
Which
いと
means
も感じな
you
かったっ
didn't
て
get any
ことで
enjoyment
しょ。
from it, I'm guessing.
確
There
か
are
に
some
殺
people
人
out
鬼
there
の
for
中
whom
には
killing
息を
is
す
as
る
easy
み
as
たいに
breathing.
人を殺すやつ
But
もい
you're
るけど、
different from that, aren't you?
シキは普段はまともっぽいよね。
そうだな。一
I
応
guess.
そのつもりだけ
At
ど。
least I try to be. Given the lines are seemingly fairly random and how they trace the surface, I think she would give a very bad, messy haircut. Yeah. I agree.
いえ、まっとうすぎるぐらいまともよ。
You're telling me.
あなたは。
Sometimes you're too straight-laced for your own good.
それで殺し
Have
た
you
く
ever
なった
wanted to
の
kill
は
someone
私だ
else
けな
like you
の？
killed me?
あ
No.
あ、アルクエド以外には
I've never
そん
felt
な
that
気持
way
ちには
about
なら
anyone
なかっ
else.
た。
なんだ、なら問題
Then
ない
there's
じゃ
no
ない。
problem, is there, silly?
ほら、顔を上げてシ
Come
キ。
on, stop
あ
looking
な
so
た
down,
は殺人
Shiki.
鬼なんかじゃない
You're
よ。
not a killer. I lift my head, as if I've been forgiven. Arquaid is smiling, brimming with such confidence and trust that it startles me. I killed her, but she believes in me more than I believe in myself.
それに何の罰も受けなくてい
There's
い
no
と思
need for
う。
you to face punishment either.
たまたまシキが殺し
It
たい
was
って
by
思った
chance
相
that
手
it
が
was
私
me
で、
you wanted to kill.
厄介なことに
And
シキに
unfortunately
は
for
これ以
me,
上
you
ない
happen to
殺
be the
人技
human
巧が
best
備わっ
equipped
て
to
い
do
た。
so.
けど都合のいいこと
But
に
luckily
私
for
が
the
吸
both
血
of
鬼だっ
us,
たんだか
I'm
ら
a vampire,
誰も死んでないで
so
しょ。
nobody died.
だからシキがそんなに悩む
So
必
you
要
don't
は
have to
な
be
い
so
よ。
torn up about it.
人間た
And
ちの
there's
社
no
会
need
の
for you to
道
worry
徳も
about
気に
being
しなく
cast
てい
out
い
from
と思う。
society or any of that either.
人間にあなたは弾劾で
What
きない。
judge is going to sentence
だ
you?
って今
You
の
know,
と
the
ころ
only
世界
ones
で
on
死
the
期を責め
planet
て
who
いい
can
のは
blame you or the
被
victim.
害者である
That'd be
私
me.
と当事
And
者
you
である
yourself.
シキ本人だけなんだから。
Welcome back from ad jail. Yes, for those of you who were stuck in ad jail just now, the reason we run 3-minute ads on the hour is because if I don't, then you guys get pre-roll ads when you come in, and they can be up to like 10 minutes long. So I sacrifice a consistent 3 minutes so that in order to avoid an inconsistent like 10 or 12 minutes. That's kind of the long and the short of it. And it supports the channel, so I appreciate you sitting through that. I should come up with like a chat command for that. Gilgamesh, welcome on in. Thank you so much for 7 months. Gosh, that's a long time. It blows my mind every time. Also, what's with those emotes? What's with those emotes in reference to Arcade? Anyway. Maybe so. But that still won't take away from the fact that I killed you. You tell me? I don't think I will, actually. Even if what Arcade says is true, even if there's no proof that any crime occurred, I'm still going to carry the sin with me forever. Obviously. It's not like I'm planning to forget you killed me anytime soon either. I remember what those emotes say. No fucking way. I mean, she is really cute, I'll give you that. We haven't reached please step on me levels of cute yet, though. Not in my opinion. Whoa! Whoa. He ain't fucking making a call out. Ahem. You know what, Shiki? If you regret it, and continue to always regret it, then I don't think there's any problem. That'd just be cheating my way out, though. Shiki, there are some people in this world that will never sell their souls to the devil, no matter how terribly the world treats them. There's even some stupidly honest people out there who'd apologize to a vampire. So you don't have to worry, no matter what anyone says, and even if you yourself try to deny it, you can still be a part of the good side of this world. I'm at a loss for words. How can she say such kind, reassuring words to the man who murdered her? Come on, don't we have more pressing matters to think about anyway? Now that you're awake, we should be thinking about our plan of action from here on out. Huh? It's like someone flipped a switch. One moment, Arcade is cheerfully chattering away, and the next, she's on the ground. I rush to her side. Oops. Guess I'm getting a little ahead of myself again. Her breathing is labored, and beads of sweat glisten across her brow. My eyes wander to her abdomen, where the slightest trace of red has started to seep through her white sweater. That wound. That's the one she incurred while protecting me in the hotel. Yeah. It's where Vlav slashed me. Normally I'd be fine, but my healing's a little slow after what you did to me. I tried to cover up the wound earlier, but it looks like it wasn't all that effective. Her tone is still cheery as ever, but I notice an undercurrent of pain shuddering around the edges. How did you cover it up? Oh, with that. Arcade gestures at a brown object dropped haphazardly on the wooden floor. At a glance, I mistake it for a small ring cake, but upon closer inspection, I realize it's packing tape. Public service announcement: do not use packing tape to patch your wounds. Unless there is literally no other alternative. That's not gonna cut it. Packing those organs in. Fucking ain't no way. Use packing tape with this gauze under it. True, but like, if you're wounded and there's like no alternatives, hey, use what you have because you have it. But like, fucking packing tape, huh? You better have some fucking gauze under there because otherwise that's like a worse Band-Aid. Seriously? Give me a break. What kind of idiot uses tape to cover their wounds? You should stop calling me an idiot so often. What if I actually start believing you? Wait, that's really fun. That's really cute. Wait, okay. I'm sorry, princess. I'm no more idiot. Sweet head pat girl. You just stop acting like an idiot so often. That's the kind of shit you should be saying to me. Just shut it and show me your wound already. I reach out a hand to lift her shirt, and Arquid quickly steps away from me, dropping backwards onto the bed with a soft thud. Cut it out. What if your wound opens up again? Fine, don't worry about it. You're the one who should cut it out. Trying to undress a woman like that is worse than any dead apostle. To be clear, I don't see you as a human, let alone a woman. This is a lewd scene originally, you can sense it. Probably. It wasn't. It's as lewd as it's trying to be right now. It's as lewd as Arcwade's trying to be right now. So come on, just show me your wound. I'll never let it go if you wind up dying from an injury you got while protecting me. Excuse me. Arquade pouts and glares at me for a moment, but ultimately rolls over the bed in my direction. Her lips still firmly shut, she gets back on her feet with childlike reluctance. She's sulking about it, but it looks like she'll at least let me take a look. Right, let me take a look at how you wrapped it up first. Oh, that doesn't look good. Oh, dear. Oh, dearest me. Okay. That doesn't look like there's any gauze under there either. As far as we can tell. Arcwade lifts her sweater to reveal her abdomen. I have to resist the urge to go off on a tirade again. The tape is tightly wrapped around not just her wound, but her entire abdomen. The second she lowers her shirt again, I pull Arcwade up into my arms. Hey, what are you doing, Shiki? You're right back to bed, that's what. I'd rather take you to the hospital, but that's out of the question, so this'll have to do. I place her back onto the bed as gently as I can. I'm going to pick up some stuff, so you better not move a muscle until I get back. Don't you dare walk around like that again, or else I'm going to forget all about you and never come back. I quickly scan the room. Not a first aid kit or even a bandage in sight. Guess you don't need any of that when you can revive whenever you want to. And hell, this might be the first time she's ever needed medical treatment. I feel around to check how much I have on me. 2,000 yen in cash. Not a lot. That's about 20 bucks, give or take. This isn't time to be putting on airs. Hey, Arcwade, you said you were rich, right? Yeah? I'm pretty well off. Why do you ask? Modern money is closer to like 13. I don't keep up with conversion rates very well. I don't do math that quick in my head, man. I can't keep an eye on that shit. All I know is people around the internet say now is a good time to visit Japan for financial reasons.
現金でもカードでもとにかく貸してく
Give
れ
me some cash or credit card.
手当
I'm
に
going
必
out
要
to
な
buy
も
some
のを買い
medical
込んでくれ
supplies.
お前に効果があるか
I
ど
don't
うか
know if
は
it'll
わからな
actually
い
do you
が
any good, but it
最
wouldn't
低
hurt
限
to
の手
try.
当ぐらいしよ
いいけど
Sure, but it's probably pointless, you know.
う無駄でもやるんだそのま
Even
ま
if
放
it
って
is, I
おけ
can't
る
just
もん
sit
か
here and leave you like that.
わかった私も体の作りそのも
My
のが
bodily
知ったって
structure
同
is
じな
similar
ん
to
だ
that
し
of regular humans,
それな
so
り
who
に意味
knows?
はあるかもしれ
Maybe
な
it'll
い
do
し
something. Arcade holds out a wad of 10,000 yen bills in front of me. I'm not even going to ask where she pulled this stack of bills from.
お前は黙って横になってろ
Stay in bed while I'm gone.
で
Oh,
も眠
but
っちゃ
don't
ダメ
fall
だから
asleep.
な
Gotta stay awake
横にな
even
って
if you're
もちゃ
lying
んと
down.
起きてるんだぞ
四季
You're just trying to make it
すご
hard
く
for
無
me.
茶な注文してるよそれ
無茶だけどや
I'm
れ
not randomly passing out orders
眠る
here.
と体
Your
の機
body
能が
doesn't
低
work
下
as
する
hard when you're asleep, which means
免疫
your
力と
immune
か抵
system
抗力
is
が
going to be a lot weaker too.
なんで傷
In
が
other
塞が
words,
っ
it
て
might
いな
get
いまま
worse
寝
if
る
you
と
fall asleep with that
ます
open
ます
wound.
悪化するんだそうだ睡眠で回
Sleep is
復す
good
る
for
の
curing
は頭の
fatigue,
疲
but
れ
it's
だけ
not
で
going to fix injuries
傷 や
or
病
illness.
気は治し
So
て
it's
くれな
better
い
for
だ
you
ろ
to stay awake till I come back
だ
with
から
something to treat you.
とりあえず手当てをするまでは起きていた方がいい
Yeah, I was gonna say, that is straight up misinformation. Sleep is rest. Well, restful sleep is rest, and rest heals. This is objectively incorrect. Anyway, maybe we didn't make... Maybe mid-2000s Japan didn't have such medical knowledge. It has been a whole checks watch 20 years since then.
へえうんそれって
That
その
makes
通り
sense.
よ
Although, if the claims that this game took place in 2014 instead of the original, like, taking place earlier, I don't remember. That would only make it... She can't get a medical license anytime soon. True. Yeah, that you know what? That's the long and the short of it. Moving on.
あのさなんで笑うんだよ
Why do you suddenly look so happy about that?
だって四季が頼りになるん
Oh,
だ
I
も
was
ん
just thinking how dependable you are. She's in high school, it's the only excuse. That, I honestly, valid. Not knowing shit about health in high school checks out. She must have a screw loose somewhere. Why did I keep from saying anything? I need to get back to the job at hand. I leave her bedroom and remove my blood-stained jacket before I head out. Time to go shopping. Wait, what? Something in the kitchen catches my eye as I head for the exit.
飯だ
Is that food? Sitting on the table is a meal, or rather a plate of food. Maybe a mishmash of ingredients would be more accurate. At the very least, I think it was something that was supposed to resemble food. This must be why Arcade was in the kitchen earlier. She said she normally doesn't eat anything, so I don't exactly need to guess who she was preparing all this food for.
あもう
Seriously, what does she think she's doing? I'm annoyed. I can't stay here a second longer. I dash into town, hoping to find something that'll help her heal. At least that was my intention. It's not like I've ever given first aid before. I'll just buy whatever supplies come to mind. Disinfectant, gauze, bandages, and painkillers. Oh, and better pick up something nutritious, too. Can't really go wrong with that. Thankfully, I'm not short on money. It might be my inexperience speaking, but it's better to buy too much than too little. It's not like I'll know what'll actually work on Arcade. With that philosophy in mind, I end up buying every single thing I can think of.
Stop, it tickles!
Another point of defense, ignoring the thing about illness, probably still better to dress the wound first before sleep. Yeah, that's, yeah, true. If you'll heal better if the wound is patched up before you become unconscious, and it's easier for whoever's patching you up, especially, obviously, if it's yourself, to move you around and get you patched up while you're conscious. If you're unconscious, you're dead weight, and they have to kind of manipulate you manually. It's just a lot harder. Not that I have any real medical experience. I just, took like a first aid elective course in high school. So, and, I'm also talking out my ass, but I know a lie when I see one. I ignore her carefree giggles and protests, and instead try to apply the gauze as delicately as I can. The wound isn't that big. No, it may not be big, but it's at least 4 centimeters deep. A laceration across the abdomen like this would be fatal to any normal human. I'm telling you, it's not a big deal. Yet that's all she had to say about it. Her organs already healed up somehow. Honestly, that part is freaky, so I don't really want to think about it too hard. Since the bleeding had stopped, all I needed to do was dress the wound, though the process wasn't as smooth as I'd hoped it would be. I wasn't sure if disinfectant would do much on a wound as big as this, or if it might actually be counterproductive, but in the end I used some anyway, hoping it would help. I was a little afraid that Arkwade would thrash about from the antiseptic sting, but she sat through it quietly without so much as a flinch. Did you do something just now? I'm not sure if she's just thick-headed or indifferent to this kind of thing.
Yosh.
There we go. I apply the gauze to the wound and start neatly wrapping the bandages around it. Stop, Shiki, no! Arkwade's gleeful laughter rings throughout the room. You don't flinch at all from the antiseptic, but the bandages feel ticklish. I ignore her till I manage to pin the bandages. I heard that tightening bandages around a wound can stem bleeding, so I give them one final tug for good measure. Ow! I'm gonna have to deduct some points for that one, Shiki. Phew. Looks like I've done all I can for now. The curtains are closed again. I shut them when I return, out of concern for Arkwade. Well, at least it looks alright from the outside. How does it feel? Can you still move? Yeah, looks like I can move without any issues. My insides are still a bit of a mess though, so I probably shouldn't go too overboard. Got it. You'll just have to bear with it for the time being. I'm good at cutting things, but fixing someone up is a little outside my wheelhouse. I take a step back and sit myself down against one of the walls. Good job staying awake so far. You can sleep now. You recover faster when you're asleep, right? I'll stand guard, so go get some shut-eye. You son of a bitch, that run counter to exactly what you said, unless you were bedside mannering her into not falling asleep specifically. Unless you were just treating her like a child and trying to explain to her why falling asleep is not good, and you were, like, intentionally lying. That's kind of funny. You even said so yourself, didn't you? Sleep has nothing to do with recovery, it just helps cure your fatigue. That's true for me too. My strength will recover once enough time has passed. I should feel better by the time night rolls around. She can tell me she's fine all she wants, but it tugs on my heartstrings to see her suffer like this. No need to act tough. Just sleep already. It's hurting you to even talk, isn't it? Yeah, but you're finally awake. Aww. It feels like a waste for me to sleep now. Arkwade sits on the bed again. She's in full-on chatty mode. Fine. There's no fighting it. I still got some things I want to know anyway, so I guess we might as well talk for a while.
アルクエイド
Alright, wait, can I ask you some questions about what happened at the hotel?
そうね。
Yeah,
や
I
っぱり
had a
そうい
feeling
う
you
会
might
話に
ask
なるわ
about
よ
that.
ね。私とシキの場合。
昨日のあいつ
That man we met.
ブローブ
Love.
とか言っていたけど
Who the hell is he?
あいつは一体何なんだ吸血鬼なの
I get that he's a vampire, but
仰
he
々
looks
しい
more
服
the
とか
part. He
お
looks more
前
the
よ
part
りよっ
than
ぽ
you
ど
do.
らしかったから
I
な
mean, he had those flashy clothes and everything. Why are we feeding her cake? That's not nutritious. That's just sugar. Well, I guess sugar wouldn't exactly be bad, but like, yeah, there you go. Tomatoes are healthy. Tomatoes are also just sugar mostly. You know, being a fruit and all. Excuse me, I gotta take another sip here. I think my allergies are acting up. Eggs are good. Although I don't know about feeding her raw eggs necessarily. Although that kind of looks cooked when it comes out of the shell. That's weird. I never thought about that before. Tomatoes can contain MSG and lycopene. I'm gonna pretend that I know what those are. Bananas are also kind of a lot of sugar, but just the peel, don't eat that. That's not good for you. I mean, it probably won't kill you, but it's not great. Monosodium glutamate. Alright, fucking Jimmy Neutron. What the... The umami compound. Oh. I spilled some sodium chloride on the floor. Dude, you mean salt? Not me calling out other people for being nerds. Anyway. Then again, there were those blue flames of his that engulfed the hallway but burnt only humans. It's totally removed from my image of a vampire. Peel has tons of nutrients? That I do not know. I don't know. I don't know about bananas, alright? They're weird. What do you mean he looks more the part than I do? But you're right. He's maintained a mostly human form, and his principles pretty small scale. As far as vampires go, you could say he's on the orthodox side. Aside from that river of flames, anyway. Hey, Dark Rebellion, you haven't missed too much. We're back in Arcwade's apartment after the hotel burst into flames because of this guy. And we've patched her up with some medical supplies because she thought that packing tape would be enough. And that's more or less where we're at. Looking up seems to increase your antioxidant levels and reduce risk of cancer. Well, that sounds pretty good. Maybe we eat bananas. Maybe we eat uncircumcised bananas from now on. Maybe we do that. Anyway.
それだ。やっぱり、お
Right,
前
the
から見ても
flames.
あの日は異
So
常
you
な
think they
の
were
か。
weird too, then?
あいつはお
Does
前よ
that
り
mean he's
強い
actually stronger than you? Arcwade heaves a sigh tinged with annoyance.
そりゃあね。
About that.
誰かさんに殺さ
Because
れ
a
てしま
certain
った私
someone
は
killed me.
あ
I've
んな
now
二流
fallen
の
to
人
a
と
level of
戦いを
some
するレベルまで
second-rate
落
dead
ちてるのよ。
apostle. Like it being reduces risk of prostate cancer, probably more helpful for Shiki. Probably more helpful for Shiki, right, because he has a prostate.
今の私とブローブのスケールを比べるなら
If you compare the two of us as we are now, I guess the scale of his power is a little bigger.
そうか。
I see.
普段のアルクエイドな
So if it weren't
ら
for
なん
your
とか
poor
倒せる
condition,
相手な
you'd
ん
be
だ。
able to beat him somehow.
なんとかって
Forget
普段なら
somehow. It
戦い
wouldn't
にな
even
って
be a
なら
fight.
ない。もう誰のおかげでこんな屈辱に耐えていると思ってるの？あんなソになりたての見習い、本当なら睨むだけでぺしゃんこにできるんだからね。
Oops, she's angry now. That said, I'm not asking how strong she'd be in a hypothetical situation. I need to know if she's able to defeat that vampire the way things are.
できないわ。
There's no
今の
way.
ブローブの方が
He's
上だも
simply
の。
stronger than I am right
単
now.
純な性能で下
If we
回
went
ってい
head
る
to
んだ
head in a
から
battle of pure
無策
strength,
で
he'd
戦
kill
え
me
ば殺され
outright.
るわ。
No question about it.
随
That's
分きっぱりと言う
a
んだ。
pretty cynical take,
さっきはあんな
especially
に
after
怒ったく
talking
せ
such
に
a big game.
ただの事実よ。
It's the truth.
分かりきった
There's no
話
use
なんだか
hoping or
ら
speculating
予
when
断
the
も希望
situation
も
is
挟ま
this
ないわ。
obvious. The impact of her words reverberates through my chest. It seems Arquaid is dead serious when it comes to fighting. Seeing her talk so coolly about death just reminds me that she's a vampire all over again.
まあ、四季の言いたいこ
I
と
get
も
what
わ
you're
かるけ
saying,
ど
though.
ね。あの炎は確かに
Those
厄介
flames
だ
of his
し、
are a problem.
ブローブ本体
Its
の
power
力も
alone is at
上
the
司にふさ
caliber
わ
of
しい
a
ものだし、
Castellan.
私に少しでもあいつ
If
の知
only I
識
knew a
があ
little
れ
more
ば
about him, I
多
might be
少
able
の
to
戦
make
力
up
差
for
が
our
覆
gap
せ
in
るんだ
power.
ろうけど。
アルクエイドはあいつを知らないのか？
How could she not know him? Didn't she come here to kill this Castellan in the first place?
私、吸血鬼に知
I
り
don't
合い
know
は
any
いないわ。
vampires personally.
知り合ったとい
Any
うこ
that
と
I
は
do meet, I'm
次の
already
瞬間
killing
に
in the
殺し
next
ていると
moment.
いうことだもの。
I rarely encounter
今
one
回
and
み
end the
たいに
conflict
顔を合
with
わせ
both
た
of
の
us
に別
walking
れ
out
た
alive.
なんていうのも
Like
特例よ。
Huh.
でも
It kind of felt
あ
like
い
he
つの
knew
方
you,
はお
though.
前を知ってるようだったけど。
初対面よ。
That was our first time meeting.
私は吸血鬼たちに
I'm
知れ
pretty
渡
well
ってい
known
るか
among
ら、
vampires,
あっちが
which is
勝
why
手に
he
知
knew
っていた
about
だ
me.
け。他の
But
吸
generally
血鬼たち
speaking,
も
we
同様。
vampires aren't
基
exactly
本的に
acquainted.
私たちに面識はないから。でも名前や
That
素性だ
said,
けは知っ
it's
てい
not
る。
too unusual for
歴
us
史
to
を
have heard
重
of
ね、
each other's
得意
names
な
or
能力を
background.
保有する個体ほど
As
名前が知れ渡る
the
のは
longer
当
a
然
powerful
でしょ。
vampire lives, the more likely it is their name will get around, you know?
ブローブはその
But
逆。
Vlav is different.
まだ名
He's
も
new
つけ
to
られ
this,
てい
so
ない
he hasn't
新
made
参
a
者
name
な
for
んですよ
himself
ね
yet.。
多分
I'd guess he only
ソ
became
に
an
なっても
ancestor in the
100年
past
ぐらいかな。
200 years or so.
またその単語か。
Ancestor.
ソっ
You
て
keep
の
using
は
that
何なん
word,
だ？
but what does it mean?
うーん
I guess you
ま
could
あ
say
吸
it's
血
someone
鬼たち
akin
の
to
王
a
様み
king
た
or
い
a
な
ruler
も
among
の
vampires.
かな。式には関係のない話
You
よ。
don't have to worry too much about it.
関係あるだ
Well, I
ろ。
will anyway.
要
Are
は
you saying
城主っ
ancestors
て
are
やつの
basically
こ
the
と
same as those Castellan things?
あのゾンビたち
The
を
ones who
操って
control
る
zombies?
親玉というか。
上司と祖は必ずしも同じじゃないわ。
Not even close. Excuse me.
強力な使徒ほど上
Any
司になり
powerful
や
dead
すいだ
apostle
け
can
で、
become a
上
Castellan
司
with
はいわ
time,
ば地方領
but
主みた
that's
い
more
な
like
ものな
becoming
の
the lord of a local territory.
祖はその上、
Ancestors stand
領
high
主た
above
ちを
them.
輩出する
In
さ
fact,
らに
they're the
上
ones
の
who bring
吸
forth
血鬼。
Castellans.
使徒たちの世界は
The world of dead
27の
apostles is
勢力
divided
に分
into
けられているの。
27 different factions.
27の国
So
があ
I
ると
guess you
思え
could
ば
say
いい
the
わ。
world is split into 27 kingdoms over which they rule.
その国を滑る。
Ancestors are
あ
older
るいは
vampires
国
that
その
lead
もの
those
とされる
kingdoms.
のが
Or
祖と
rather,
呼ば
they're
れる古い
nations
吸
unto
血鬼。
themselves.
使徒の頂点に
They
立つ者
stand
た
at
ち
the
よ。
apex of all dead apostles. 27 kingdoms and 27 rulers. Makes sense to me. I guess even vampires vie for power, just like humans do.
待てよ。それ
Hold up.
とんで
Doesn't
もな
that
い
mean
相
we're
手って
dealing
こと
with
じゃない
someone
か。
super dangerous?
まあ、そうね。
Yeah, that's right.
ブローブはまだ未
Love
熟
is
者
still a
だけど、
fledgling ancestor
そ
at
れ
the
でもあな
moment,
たた
but
ち
to you
人間から
humans,
見
he
れ
may
ば
as well be a
災害と変
natural
わらない。
disaster.
昨日のホテルもそうよ。
Take what happened at the hotel.
あいつは1階か
All
ら
Love
最上
did was
階に
make
狙
his
っ
way
て
up
き
to
た
the
だ
top
けだ。
floor.
人
He had
間
no
なんて
intention of
殺す気
killing
は
all
なか
those
ったし、
people.
心底
He
ど
didn't
うで
care
もいい
about them
存
in the
在だった。
slightest.
でも、
Yet
そ
they
れだ
still
けで
died.
人間は死ぬ。
Those flames followed him like
あ
a
の
curse,
炎はあいつがいるだ
flickering
け
to
で
life
発
and
生する
devouring those
呪い
around
のよう
him
な
through
もの
his
だか
mere
ら。
presence. What the? He just has to exist for people to die around him? And he doesn't even care about humans? But doesn't that also mean that
俺たちがホテルに逃
did
げ
all
た
that happen because of us
起き
then?
たことなのか。
Because we decided to flee to the hotel?
ええ
That's right.
私がいたからグローブ
He
はや
came
って
for
き
me.
た
Arkwood confirms my fears. Vlov's presence might have been what killed all those people, but we were the ones responsible for bringing that disaster to their doorstep. It'd be all too easy to blame Arkwood for everything. I'd have every right to do so as a human. She's just a vampire. She doesn't even care about human life. Vlov and her have that much in common. Kiwis have more potassium than bananas and are far tastier and more refreshing. I agree. Although I eat more bananas than I do kiwis. And yeah, bananas being known for potassium is weird because they don't have a whole lot of potassium. They have potassium, but like not so much that it should be notable. And not even more than any other fruit, necessarily. But then again, who was it that made it so she had to flee and hole up in a hotel somewhere? Who deserves the blame here? The answer is simple. There's only one person responsible for getting these innocent bystanders caught up in Vlov's flames. Only one person is responsible for Arkwood's present state. I'm the person who killed her in the first place. Shiki, don't fall for that same misconception again. Weaker creatures getting eliminated is part of the natural order of things. You're trying to find where the fault lies, and blame the human species for evolving in a way that made them unable to defend themselves. If a person kills another person, by human standards, is judged a crime. But if a human is killed by something other than a human, it's simply natural selection. Holding yourself personally responsible is arrogance. She makes a dangerously convincing point. Kiwis have 174 chromosomes. That's a lot. I'm sorry, there's something in my eye, and I can't tell if it's over or under my contact lens. But it's really bugging the shit out of me. I think I got it. You're calling me arrogant? Yep. If you're acting as a representative for the entire human race. Let me try a different example. Imagine if in the mountains somewhere there was a herd of carnivorous animals whose diet happens to include humans as well. But one day an unwitting pack of hunters comes roaming through and kills them all for their own consumption. Who's at fault in this situation? The beasts that weren't able to fend off the humans? Or the humans who wiped them out? Arkwood's parable shakes me out of my self-loathing. It wasn't a fable she made up to comfort me, but one laden with scorn and disdain. The burden of guilt, the weight of life, something I, and maybe humanity in general, are overly concerned by. I understand what she's trying to say. In her story, neither the humans nor the beasts carry any sin. What happened was simply nature, the way of the world. The only fault lies with the species unable to ensure their own survival. But this is the human world, a human city. This isn't a matter of humans being too weak or vampires being too strong. A city is a place where weaker humans can congregate for shelter and protection, to be stronger together. So it's fair for me to question my own responsibility in bringing a vampire into that sanctuary. Sounds like I was mistaken too. You never had the makings of a serial killer. What the hell? Are you saying I'm soft? The ape together strong.
それ以前の問題。
It's bigger
だ
than
から
that.
ここではっきり
There's
させま
something
し
we
ょ
need
う。
to get straight.
四季、
What
あ
are
な
you
たは
planning
こ
to
れから
do
ど
from
うする
here
の？
on?
吸血鬼と戦
Will you
う？
fight the
そ
vampire?
れとも逃げる？
Or will you run?
好きな方を選んで。
Choose for yourself.
私はもう強
I
制
won't
は
force
し
your
ない。
hand anymore.
見張り
You've done
役
your
の
guard
約
duty
束は
already back
昨
in the
日一
hotel.
日で完了よ。
She's asking me what I plan to do next. Isn't that already obvious?
でも覚悟
If
を
you
して。
continue, I'll need you
吸
to be
血鬼
prepared.
と戦うということは
Fighting against
人間
vampires
の
means
枠から
leaving your
外れると
humanity
いうこと。
behind.
あなたたちがどれだ
No
け
matter
犠
how
牲になっ
many
て
of you
も
die along the
それ
way,
を
you
自分とは
can't let
関係
yourself
の
be
ないことだと
distracted,
思えなければ
or else
あなたは必ず破綻する。
break.
それが間違っていると思うのなら 昨
If
日
you
ま
don't
で
have
の
it
あ
in
な
you
た
to
に
do
戻りな
that,
さい。
then go back to how you were
それが
before you
人
got
間という
involved in
種
any of this.
一番正しいや
That's how
り方
humans
だから。
ought to live. Arquade's sharp gaze pierces right through me. I know what I should do. If I want any chance of living a normal human life, I should run. Out of all my options, distancing myself holds the best outcome for me. But what about Arquade? What's best for her? No, I shouldn't be thinking about her. I should be putting myself first. If I stick around here with her, I'll undoubtedly run into that monster again. He was out of this world. Not just as a vampire, not just because of his flames. His very eyes were void of normality. That deadened stare bereft of emotion. Cold to all things. A creature who cares nothing for the lives of humans, or even those of his vampire brethren. There's no way I could face him again. Having nearly been killed once already, I know that fact in my very bones. I've got to refuse. I have every reason to. No matter which way I look at it, this entire situation is way out of my league.
アルクエイド、
Arquade,
俺は
But is that really the right thing to do? I'd be abandoning Arquade. Arquade, the woman who's weak and unable to even move around properly, all because of me.
俺は
I'm just running away. Running away from the monster that mercilessly burned his countless victims alive, without so much as a second thought. Can I really pretend that never happened? Forget what I saw and live on as the only human survivor, without even a pang of guilt? I'm the only one who can see the lines of death. Someone important once told me I was given these eyes because there might come a time when I'd need them. So the answer is obvious. I might not be able to rid myself of my doubts and fears. I'm not even sure I'll be able to make a meaningful contribution. But what I am sure of is that I want to do something.
四季？
Shiki?
アルクエイド、
Arquade, I'm sorry.
お前の
I
話は
can't just close my eyes and
俺には
pretend
わからない。
nothing's happening.
どんなに相手が違う
Even
生
if
き
our
物
foe
だ
is
として
inhuman,
も
even if
ど
I'm
んなに俺が
powerless
無
to do
力だ
anything
としても
about it, I can't shirk my
責任は同じなんだ。
responsibility here. A lot of people
俺はや
died
っぱり
while I just stood by and
多くの
watched,
人を
and I
見殺し
don't
に
want
した
that
し
to happen ever again.
多くの人を見殺しにするのは嫌なんだ。だから今さら
What I'm trying to say is
自分だ
that
け
I
逃げる
can't run away.
できない。
I sigh deeply and stare up at the ceiling. There we go. At least my resolve is finally rock solid.
吸血鬼を倒す。
I'm going to take down this
それ
vampire.
があの
As
ホ
the
テルに
only
いて
human
自分だけ
survivor
生き
from that
残った
hotel, I owe it to the ones
俺
who
が取る
weren't
べき
so
責
lucky.
任なんだと思う。
My affirmation is just as much for myself as it is for Arquade. Arquade sighs, as if blaming herself for my decision. How somber.
そっか。じゃあ私は何も言わない。
My toes Monday. It's time to read. Well, in that case, I can't exactly send you away.
シキが一緒に戦ってくれる
Plus,
のは
having
助
you
かる
around
し
is
ね。
pretty useful.
あなたならグロ
You
ー
could
ブなん
kill
て
Love
問
with
題な
just
く
a
一
single
撃で
blow.
殺せるんだから。
Almost timed you out. What the fuck? That's mean.
いや、それは無理だろ。
I wouldn't be so sure about that.
あいつの周り熱くて
The
近
air
づけ
around
な
the
いん
guy
だ
is
から。
way too hot. I'd never get close enough.
それ以前にどうやって
Besides,
あ
how
い
are
つ
we
を
even
見つ
going
け
to
るんだ。
find him?
見つけるって。
Find him?
シキって
One
ほ
second
ん
you're
と極
thinking
端
of
なの
running
ね。
away, and the next you're planning
逃
to
げないっ
ambush
て
the
決め
guy.
たら今度はこっ
Little
ちから攻め
extreme,
に行
don't
こ
you
うだ
think?
なんて。
Hey, you were the one who made it sound like you wanted me to.
極端の化身みた
Besides,
い
I
な
don't
お
want to
前に
hear
言
that
われ
coming
たく
from
な
the
い。
living embodiment of extremity.
私は効率重
I
視な
just
だけ
value
よ。
efficiency, that's all.
まあいいわ。
Well,
言
whatever.
っておくけど、
Just
こ
to
こ
tell you
からは
though,
持
this
久
is
戦
going to
だ
be
か
a
ら。
battle of endurance.
一番確実な
Ideally,
戦
we
法
ought
は
to stay out of his
私の
reach
体
until
力
I
が戻り
recovered
きる
enough
まで
of my
逃げるこ
strength.
と。あと3日もすれば、
I'll be back to
私の規模
30%
は
of my
3
power
割
in
ぐらいま
3 days
で回
or
復す
so.
る。
That
そ
should
れ
be
だ
more
け
than
の出
enough to
力があ
defeat
れば、
Love on my own.
私一人でもグローブを倒しきれる。
3日
3 days?
いや、
But
で
then,
も。
ええ、
I know.
その3日間、
That's
グ
3
ロー
days
ブ
where
は
Vlad
野
would
放
have
しよ。
free reign.
あい
In
つは
that
地下
time,
に
he'll
潜
go
って人
underground
間
and
から
continue
血
to
液を補
replenish
充す
himself
る。
with fresh blood.
うん、
No,
それだけじゃな
not
い。
just that.
あ
I
の
think
様
there's
子
a
から
good
する
chance
と
he's wandering the
夜の
streets at
街を
night
徘
too.
徊するかもしれない。あいつ
It
正
didn't
気
look
が
like
欠
he
け
was
て
in
いた
his
し、
right mind.
姿
He
を
might not
隠さ
even
な
be
いと
conscious
教
of
会
the
に
fact
狙
that
わ
the
れる
church will come after
な
him
ん
if
て
he
セオリ
keeps
ー
operating out in the
頭に
open.
ないのかもね。
それはダメだ。
No way.
あいつ
The
はい
guy
るだけで
incinerates
炎を
people
まき散ら
around
す
him just
怪
by
物なんだ
existing.
ぞ。
We can't let him walk
一日だっ
around
て
for
放
one
って
more
おける
day,
か。
let alone 3.
なら昼間のうちに
Which
グロー
leaves
ブを
us
見
with
つ
the
け
option of
て
finding him
殺
during
す
the
しかない。
daytime and killing him.
でもそれには反対
But
よ。
I'm against that.
大まかな場所
So
は
I've
目
got a
星が
rough
つくけ
idea of
ど、
where he's hiding.
睡
There's
眠中
nothing
の
more
人ほど
cautious
用
than a
心深い
sleeping
も
dead
のはない
apostle.
わ。
We could
今
very
の
well be
私た
walking
ち
straight into
は
an
返り
ambush
討ち
that
に
we
なる
can't
可能性
handle.
の方が高いもの。
そんな。
Seriously?
奴の居
We're
場
just
所
going to
に
let
目
him
星
be,
がついて
despite
る。
knowing where he's hiding?
むざむざ見逃すっていうのか。
ええ、言
I
ったで
told
し
you,
ょ。
Shiki.
人
Can't
間
allow
が何
ourselves to
人
be
グローブの餌
distracted,
食になろ
even
う
if
と
this means more
私
people
に
will
は
fall
関係
victim
の
to
ない
Vlad.
話だって。
She did just tell him that. That's... Alright, you got me. I swallow hard. I understand what she's saying. If we're to play it safe, or even stand a chance at all, then it's better to wait for Arquette to recover from her wounds and regain her strength first. But on the other hand, the more time we waste here, the more victims will fall right into Vlov's hands. Wow, we haven't been presented with a choice for a little while. What do we think, Chet? Personally, I think we should wait. Follow Arquette's advice. But... got 1 vote for 2. Ooh, 1 vote for 1. Oh, 2 votes for 2. Anybody else want to weigh in? Going once, going twice? I should at least wait here until evening falls. My heart says we can't allow Vlad to remain on the loose for another second. But that would be reckless. What was I even thinking? That I can just go out there, find him, and kill him myself? That was just a scenario conjured up by my guilty conscience to tempt me into escaping reality. I need to keep a cool, level head. If I really want to defeat that vampire, and if I really want to reduce the number of casualties, then we have to stick it out for now. But even so, 3 days feels like a lifetime.
アルクエイド
Arquaid,
俺が見張り
you
をする
told me
義務
my
は
duty as your guard
昨日
ended
で
at
終
the
わりって
hotel,
言っ
right?
たよな
言ったけど
I did.
何
Why
を
do you ask?
やっぱり怖くなった
Did you get cold feet?
いやそうじゃないんだ
No, that's not it.
ここからは義務
My
じゃな
help
く
is
て
going to
協
be
力になるん
voluntary
だ
instead of
俺の頼みも
obligatory,
聞いて
then
ほ
I'd
しい
like to ask you for a favor as well.
俺はお前の
I'll
言う
do
通
whatever
り
you
に
ask
す
of
る
me. Follow
お
your
前の
every
指示
order.
に従う
I'm not sure if I can be
盾
much of a shield, but I can
は
at
無理で
least
も
be your knife.
ナイフぐらいはこなしてみせるだからその
But
代わ
in
り
exchange,
その代わり
in exchange,
3日は待てない
I don't want to wait 3
今夜
days.
奴を
Let's
誘
lure
い
him
出
out
そう
tonight.
あなた
Are you sure?
本気
Arquaid peers at me skeptically, as if she's asking me whether or not I have a death wish. I'm well aware it's dangerous, but I'm not planning to back down from this either.
冗談でこんなこ
Do
と
I
言い
sound
出せ
like
る
I'm
か
joking?
俺だって死にたくない
I'm not planning on dying
だ
either.
から聞かせてく
So
れ
answer me this. If you rest
今夜
until
まで休ん
tonight,
だお
and
前
I
と
use my
俺
eyes
の目
during
で
the fight,
グロ
the
ー
two
ブ
of
を
us
倒せ
stand
る
a
か
chance against Vlav. The only one capable of making that judgment is Arquaid herself. If she says it can be done, I'll wager everything I have on those odds.
そうね四季が私の
I
言う
guess
通
if
り
you're
に
willing
動
to
いて
do
くれ
everything
る
I
な
tell
ら
you, then
私たち
together
の方
we
が
might
強い
have
か
the edge
な
over him.
でもそれでいいの
Are you sure, though?
3日待った方が
It'd be
安全だ
safer to
よ
wait another 3 days.
分かってる
I get that, but this
でも
is about as much
こ
slaughter
れ
as I
が
can
俺のギリ
tolerate.
ギリの許容範囲なん
Any
だ
more, and my spirit won't be able to
そ
bear
れ以
it.
上は精神が持たない
ふん
Well, as long as you're sure
まあ
about it.
それならいいけど正直に言えば
To be
3日
honest,
間
it
逃
would
げ
have
切れ
been
る可能
equally
性も
tough to
低かっ
stay
た
on the
し
run for 3 days straight.
じゃあ今から路線変
Anyhow,
更
sounds like it's time to
作戦
switch gears. Let's draw up a battle plan.
四季はどこで戦いたいの
Where do you want to face him?
え
Huh?
いやその
I mean, is this
いいのか？
really okay? I'm genuinely shocked at how easily she let me have my way. I was expecting a lot more pushback after seeing how serious she can get about battle.
それならいいって言った
I
でしょ
told you it's fine as long as you're sure.
私が3日
It
間
doesn't
逃げ
really
切れ
matter
るの
anyway.
か今夜私たち
Whether
で
we
グロ
run
ー
for
ブを
3 days
殺す
or
の
kill
か
Vlav tonight,
どちらも同じ成
either
功
plan has
率な
about
の
the same odds of
違う
success.
のはあなたの生
It's
存
just
確
that your
率だ
chances
け
of
ね
survival are much lower in one than the other.
そっか
I see.
ありがとうアルクエイド
Thanks, Arquaid.
私としてはおすすめで
It's
きな
not
いけ
exactly
ど
the option I would have recommended, though.
ほんと四季ってわ
Honestly,
か
I
んない
don't get what's going on in your mind. I understand that my selfish request will make it harder to defeat Vlav with certainty. So I wasn't surprised that Arquaid looked a little dismayed by it. After all, she's all about efficiency. But I was surprised that she didn't reject it outright. I'm not sure if she did it to respect my feelings, or if she just figured it didn't have much of an impact on her overall odds. Either way, I'm glad she agreed to side with me.
じゃあちょっと小休
How
止
about we
ね
take a quick break?
お腹減ってるでしょ四季
You must be hungry,
さっ
right?
きのおかわり
Would
い
you
る
like some more of what you had
新しいの
earlier?
作ってあ
Or
げ
should I
ようか
whip you up something new?
いや自分
No,
で作
I
るか
can
ら
make something.
冷蔵庫の食材
I'll
だ
just
け
help myself to
好き
whatever's
に
in the
使わ
fridge.
せていただきます
I feel bad for not trying it, but I don't possess the fortitude to stomach whatever heaping of ingredients Arquaid slapped together on a plate. Maybe if I were in peak condition. No, not even then. Whip up some more raw ingredients. Vlav is already plenty dangerous. If a confrontation with him is inevitable, I'd be better off avoiding Arquaid's lethal cooking, at the very least. How do you even know if it's that bad? How do you know if it's that bad? Surely it's not that bad. I quickly cook up a simple meal before returning to talk to Arquaid. Breath of the Wild, dubious food. We've outlined a rough plan. Now we just need to refine it. The main issue is the fire. Unless we manage to do something about that, neither Arcwade nor I will be able to get close enough.
やっぱり奇襲しか
So
ないよ。
basically, our only option is to hit him with a surprise attack.
あいつはお前が目的
He's
っぽ
got
か
his
ったし
eyes on you, so we
ア
can
ル
use
クエイ
you
ド
as
にはお
bait
と
to
りにな
lure
って
him
もらっ
out.
てグローブをおびき寄せる。俺は事前に
I'd
隠れ
make
て
sure
い
to
て
hide somewhere
あ
nearby.
いつがお
Then when
前
he's
に気を
focused
向
on
けてい
you,
る
I
隙
can
に
jump out
背
and
後から
attack from
襲
from
いか
behind.
かる。
How's that sound? It's a sloppy plan, but it's not like I can think of anything better. Though it still doesn't solve the problem with the fire.
基本はその
Yeah,
流
I
れ
think
でい
that's
い
a
と
good
思う
start.
私がおとり
I'll lure him
指揮
out,
がと
then
ど
you
め
deal the finishing blow.
指揮ならブローブがどれだ
Since
け
it's you,
命
it
の
won't
リザ
matter
ーブ
how
を持
much
って
fight
い
he's
て
got
も
left in
関
him.
係ないしね
You can take him down straight away.
他にも問題はあるぞ。
There is one more problem.
俺はともかく
Forget
お
about me
前
for a
はあいつ
moment.
と正面か
You're
ら
going to
向
be
き合うん
facing
だ。
off against him.
あの手みたい
What
な
will you do
炎
about
は
that
どうす
fiery
るんだ。
claw attack of his?
それは問
That
題じゃ
shouldn't
な
be
い
a problem at all.
一度受けてみて
Judging by the last time
ブ
he
ロー
hit
ブ
me,
の炎は
I
3000
guess his
程度
fire
だ
was
ったし
only around 3000
今から
degrees.
体を耐熱
If
仕
I
様に
focus on
作り
making my
直して
body
お
more
けば
heat
耐え
resistant
ら
while
れ
I
るわ
recover today, I'll be perfectly fine. Bro, she can fucking patch notes her body. What the fuck? She can just make herself more heat resistant? That's cool. Oh, yeah, also only 3000 degrees. Right, yeah, of course. That's like... How has there not been more environmental damage just due to him existing? Say what? Only around 3000 degrees? Man, he just like me for real. Only around 3000 degrees? I'm pretty sure even a rock starts melting at that point.
周囲の炎はもっと
The
簡
flames
単
surrounding him will be even easier to deal with.
あれは地表にかかってい
They're
る
a
だけの
pollution
程
that
度の汚染
loosely
だから
clings to its
四季が
surroundings.
物陰から出
Whenever
る
you
とき
jump out, it
ちょ
should
っ
be
と
a
気
cinch
合を
to
出
blow
して
them
吹き
away
飛ば
for
してあ
you.
げるホテルの時は四季が
I
後ろ
couldn't
に
do
い
it
た
back
か
at
ら
the
できな
hotel
かったけ
since you were
ど
behind me, but it'll be no problem this time. It'll be a cinch, huh? It almost feels too simple, this slapdash plot of ours. But I should put some faith in the woman who saved me from him the first time.
大体決まり
Sounds like we
ね
have a plan.
まず私が餌になってブロー
First,
ブ
I
を
act as the
引き
bait
寄せ
to
る
draw out Vlav
四季は
while
事
you
前に
wait
隠れて
behind.
おくそれでブロー
When
ブが
Vlav
やって
comes,
きたらちょ
he
っ
and
と
I
だ
will
け
fight
戦
for a
う
bit.
今夜の私の
My
体
strength
力じゃ
won't be
ブロ
enough
ーブ
to
は
take
倒
out
しき
Vlav
れ
on
ない
my
け
own
ど
yet,
周囲
but
の
it'll be
炎を消し
sufficient
飛
to
ば
clear
し
the
て
area of
動
his
きを
fire
抑え
and
るこ
hold
と
him
な
in
らで
place
き
for
る
a while.
動きを抑えるって
How are you going to hold him
具
in
体的
place?
には
Don't tell me you're planning to
まさ
slam
か
him to
お
the
前が
ground
あい
and
つ
pin
に
him
掴みか
down.
かって上から組み伏せるとか。
そんな野蛮なことい
Nothing
たし
quite
ま
so
せん
barbaric.
直接組み伏せる
I
と
don't
か
think
無
it's a
駄
good
すぎ
idea
る
to try wrestling
今ま
with
で
him.
一度もしたこ
I've
とな
never
いし
done it before,
す
so I
る
wouldn't
必
even
要
know where
性
to
が感
begin.
じられないし
Besides, there's a much better way.
そうか。
Right.
じゃあどうやって
So
ブロ
how
ーブを
exactly are
抑
you
え込む
planning
ん
to
だ。
hold him in place?
場所によるけど
Depends on the
基本
place,
的には
but
鎖か
generally
な
I just use my chains. Him again?
鎖
Chains?
鎖ってあの
Chains?
鎖か。
ええ
Yep.
ほら
Like this.
こんな風に
What the hell? A pair of chains just clamped shut around my wrists. Where did these things even come from?
空中の元素を固定化したも
I
のよ
combined chemical elements already
私
present in the air.
その形はイメージ
Chains
し
are
やす
just
く
a
て
shape
相
that's
性い
easy
い
for
の
me to visualize.
強度は
I'd say each chain can handle about,
今なら1本あた
at
り
the
100本
moment,
ぐらい
maybe
までか
100
な
tons each.
とにかく何十
Don't
本
worry, I
と重
plan
ね
on
掛け
hitting
す
him
る
with
か
a
ら
few dozen of
動
them
き
at
だけな
once,
ら
so
封じ
that
ら
ought
れ
to
る
keep him in place. A 100 tons? And she's at like 20% power or less right now? I'm terrified of this woman. I'm starting to understand what Gilgamesh was talking about.
鎖の拘束は手足をメインにして
I'll target his limbs so you have a clear shot at the lines on his torso.
式はグローブの胴体の死を切ればいい。
わかった。
I got
わ
it,
か
so
ったから。
please just let me go
こ
now.
れ解いてくれ。
Come on, unchain me,
取れる。
or else my hands will fall off before we even get to face glove.
もげる。
Unchain me, unleash me! Agile soon, 07. Yeah, soon. I don't know what you mean. Arc has a completely reasonable level of power. That sounds like a lie. The chains dissolve into thin air, disappearing just as quickly as they appeared. And here we've got yet another example of how ridiculously overpowered Arcade is. See, even Shiki knows. If she can call these chains in and out of existence, then she should also be able to tie down Glove.
とにかく
Moving right along.
私は戦いになったら
As
隙
soon
を
as I
見て
spot an opening, I'll use these
縄状
chains
の
to
もので
bind
グロ
Glove's
ーブの
arms
手
and
足を
legs.
縛る。完全に
I'll
動き
only
を
be able to
封じ
hold
ら
them
れ
for
るのは
about 10
10秒ぐらい
seconds.
だから
So that's
そ
when
う
I'll
したら
need you
式
to
は
jump
物
in
陰
from
か
your
ら飛
hiding
び出し
place.
て正面
Come
か
at
ら
him head
まっすぐ
on.
最短で
Cut
グロー
through
ブ
his
に線を
lines.
立てばいい。大丈夫。式
Don't
の
worry
腕
too
なら
much.
あっけないぐ
Killing
ら
him
い
should
簡
be a
単に
piece of
殺せ
cake
る
for
わ。
you.
正面からって。
Come at him head on.
What?
Arcade says it like it's nothing, but I don't feel quite as confident.
いや、経験していないことを
Can't count
目
on me
線に入
doing
れる
things
の
I've
はや
never
めよ
done before.
う。やっぱりさ、
It'll be more
俺
practical
が
if
な
I
んとか
approach him
背
from
後から
behind
近
and
づいて
slice through the lines
あい
around
つの
his
手
hands
足
and
の
feet
線を
first.
切るよ。
That way we can
そ
rob
うす
him
れ
of
ば
his movement
とりあ
then.
え
That way Arcade wouldn't even have to fight him. I'd like to save any fighting for if my ambush fails. I look at Arcade to see if she approves of my plan. Okay, well you got ad jail, so I'm going to go on a quick... That's also a problem. Let's take a short intermission so that I can run to the bathroom and solve that also. Okay. I have taken a tinkle, I have plugged in my controller, and I have made some more gamer subs. Caffeine free. Some more pee juice. So let us continue.
シキ、それじゃああなたは死ぬわ。
Shiki, you'll die if you do that.
え、
Huh?
これはどう行動すれば
We're not trying
安
to
全
figure
な
out
のか
the safest
の
route.
話じゃない。どうすれば死
Nor
な
are
な
we
いの
trying
か
to
じゃ
figure
な
out
く
how
て、
how
どうや
not
っ
to
て殺
die.
すかの話でしょ。
We're trying to figure out how to kill him.
それは
You're right, I
そうだ
guess,
けど。
but
あなたはこれから吸
you'll
血
be
鬼を相
fighting
手
a
にするのよ。
vampire.
なら、
So for
今夜だ
tonight,
けで
I
も
need you
人
to
間
leave
の道
behind
徳
all
観念を
sense
捨
of
てて、
human morality.
そんな
That
荷
kind
物
of
を持っ
baggage
てい
will
る
only
と、
weigh you down in a
いざ
fight.
という時に体が重くなるだけだから。
それぐらい分かっ
I
てる。
get that. We're
相
fighting
手
a
が化
monster,
け物だ
so
か
I'll be ready to
ら
help
俺だっ
you
て
in
手
any way
伝
I
う気に
can.
なったんだ。
いえ、シキは
I
分
don't
かっ
think
て
you
い
get
な
it
い。
at all.
手足を切る。
His limbs
や
first?
めてよ、そんな
That's
自殺行
suicide.
為。
If you have
手
the
足
time
を
to
切
cut
る
his
暇が
limbs,
あ
you
る
should
の
be
なら、
going for a killing
まず
blow.
命を切りな
Don't
さ
get
い。
hung up on killing another
他
living
の生き
creature
物なら
either.
ともかく、
You're the
あなた
only
に
one
だ
who
け
can
は
do
それ
this,
が
so
で
I
きるんだ
need
か
you to
ら。
do it properly.
いい？
Get it?
グローブには
You
反
can't
撃の
afford
機
to
会
give
を
love
与
a
えな
window
い
to
こと。
strike back. Your only
シキの
advantage
利点
is
は
that he doesn't know
相
who
手に
you
正
are or
体が
what
知
you're
られてい
capable
ない
of,
ことだ
so
けなんだ
don't
から。
waste it. Arkwood leaves me with no room for objection. Her crimson eyes say it all. She's telling me that if I miss my first shot, there'll be no second chances. And she has a point. Every second I waste cutting through his limbs is another second during which he can engulf my body in flames and burn it to crisp.
グローブは夜になればやってくる。
Love will come for us once night falls.
その時に私たち、
That's when we're going to kill him, Shiki.
いえ、
In the truest sense,
私とシキ
we're
であ
going
い
to
つを
bring an end to
こ
it.
れ以上ないっていう形で殺すの。どう生き延びるかじゃ
Our
ない。
strategy here isn't about survival.
どう殺す
It's
のか。
about killing our opponent.
それだけを
Plain
考
and
えな
simple.
さい。
Don't let anything else distract you. Her gaze is fierce with disapproval. She's really angry. Angry at the fact that I'm still being so naive about all this.
分かった。
Got it.
俺はためらわ
I
な
won't
い。
hesitate.
一息で奴の
I'll
線
cut
を
through his
全部
lines
切
in
る。
one fell swoop.
それでいいんだろう。
That should be
ア
fine,
ルクエイド。
right? The ferocity in her gaze doesn't dim for a second. At least her silence suggests that she approves of my new attitude.
でもどこで待ち受けよう
So
か。
that leaves us with where we'll be ambushing him.
このマンションじゃホテルの時
This
と変わらな
apartment
い。
shouldn't be this apartment wouldn't be any
人気がなく
different
て、
from a hotel.
俺が
We'll
隠
need
れら
somewhere
れる
with
ような
nobody
ところ
around and a
は。
place for me to hide.
この町の中央公
Then
園
the
が
park
最
will
適
do.
よ。
Nobody goes there
深夜
at
に
night.
なれば人通りはないんだし。それでも通りかかっ
And
て
if
しま
somebody
う人
does
がいた
happen
の
to
な
wander
ら、
through, then they'll just
そ
have
れ
to
は
chalk it
純
up to
粋
their
に
poor luck.
その人に運がなかっただけの話でしょ。
Arkwood looks away and turns her back to me as she speaks.
なんだよ。
What is it?
言いたい
If
こ
you've
と
got
がある
something
な
to
ら
say,
言え
then
よ。
say it.
無理よ。
No, it
結
isn't
局
going to work.
シキは一度も
You
殺すと
haven't
口
even
にして
uttered
く
the
れな
word
い。
kill once.
このままだと最
At
後の
this rate,
瞬
you'll
間で
hesitate at the last
あなたは
moment,
きっと
and
た
he'll
めら
kill
う。
you in a snap.
それで
そんなことあるもん
I'm
か。
not going to hesitate.
相手は
This guy's
100人
murdered
以上の
hundreds
人
of
間を
people.
殺した化け
Why
物
would I
だ。
ever feel regret over killing him?
殺すことにためらいなんてあるはずがないだろ。
Arkwood sighs softly.
シキを魔眼で魅
If
了
I
し
were
て
to
しまえば、
enthrall you with my mystic eyes, I could so easily ensure you finish off love.
どうしてかな。
It's strange, though.
初めてそういう気
This
に
is
な
the
ったのに、
first time I've ever felt the urge to charm
初めて。
someone like that.
そうするのが嫌に
The
なっ
first
ちゃ
time
っ
I've
た。
hated the thought of doing so.
なんか
What
す
a
ごい
weird
矛盾。
contradiction.
シキを信じるわ。
I'll believe in you,
二人で
Shiki.
ブローブを倒しま
Let's
しょ
go
う。
take down Vlov together. In a flash, her grim tone takes on its usual upbeat lilt again. Her eyes seem filled with trust, yet I can see concern creeping into her smile. Ah, it's night. Arkwade and I have arrived at the park a little past 9 p.m.
大事なことだから
I'll
も
go
う
over
一
this
度だ
one
け
more
説
time
明しておこうか
since
な
it's important.
長く生きた人には
Dead apostles
その
who've
あり
lived for a
方を
long
武器にし
time
た
are
懲
able
罰
to
能
wield
力がある
eminence arts.
吸血種に備
You
わっ
can
た
think
基
of it
本
as a
的な能
curse
力と
unique
は
to the
別の
vampire,
そ
one
の個
gained
体
from
が血を飲
consuming
むこ
blood.
とで持ってしまった
This curse of theirs
特別な呪
transcends
い
the
みたいな
powers
もの
of
ね
ordinary vampires.
ブローブはその域に達してい
Needless
る
to
人
say,
よ
Vlav is a vampire that's reached that level.
使徒を倒すという
Defeating
こと
him
は
means
そ
overcoming
の
his
懲
eminence
罰
art
能
at the
力を
same
破ると
time.
いうことあの炎を消
As
す
a
手段を
human,
獲
you
得
won't
しない
stand a
限り
chance against his
人
flames
間に
unless I
勝ち目は
extinguish
ない
them first.
だか
Until
ら
I do, it's
私が
vital
ブ
that
ロ
you
ーブ
stay
の呪
away
いを
from
壊
him.
すまでシキはあいつに近づかないでね
Our plan is simple. First, Arkwade will lead him here. She told me that vampires can sense one another's location unless they can make an effort to conceal their biological wavelength, or something. Apparently, Vlav isn't hiding his wavelength at all. Though Arkwade wasn't sure if that was because he doesn't want to, or because he can't. Luckily for us, that means she'll know exactly when Vlav approaches us, and where from. Normally, Arkwade would hide her wavelength, but right now she's letting it go free, broadcasting her whereabouts and issuing a challenge to Vlav. Trying to draw him like a moth to the flame. And with a bit of luck, the moth will fly straight into our proverbial zapper. Then all we'll have to do is follow through with the plan. I'll observe the battle from my hiding spot in the bushes, while Arkwade binds Vlav with her chains. Then at the signal, I'll jump out and cut through his lines. Arkwade doesn't look nervous at all. If anything, she seems a little bored as her gaze lingers over empty space. I wish I could be that calm. I grip my knife tight in my pocket. It's a bit nerve-wracking. There are a lot of uncertainties in this plan. For one, it hinges on Vlav not noticing me while I hide. Arkwade told me that the chances of him noticing me were extremely low, but that doesn't mean they're non-existent. If he does notice me, I'll be done for. I'll be burned alive without any recourse, just like he did to so many within the hotel. Even so, I'm fine with those odds. I agreed to this plan knowing full well the risks involved. There's just one more major variable. What if Arkwade can't bind Vlav? In other words, what if Vlav manages to beat Arkwade? I'd have to deal with him by myself. It'd come down to me and a single knife to defeat Vlav and save Arkwade. Can I even do such a thing? Can I face those flames alone? Just the thought of it makes me tremble. I tighten my grip on the knife, coiling my fingers around the handle so